Yeah, we're back. Sorry, guys. Had a little crash. Had a little problem with my internet, but hey, a quick restart usually fixes everything. But we are back. Yes, sir, Eric. One Bad Plum, what's going on, buddy? As always, appreciate everyone chiming in. We'll give people another minute or two, and then we'll get into it. And hopefully, y'all keep me an hour this time. No excuse. Yeah, no excuses. Hopefully, y'all keep me going an hour this time because we ran just a tad short last time. Ken, what's up, buddy? Thanks for chiming in. I appreciate it. Lone Ranger. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. All that money in the car with slow internet. No, so when I do these lives, I run the Ethernet cord to my router, so I don't have those slow internet problems when it comes to wireless. I'm in a different room, and the wireless routers, and obviously in another room. Hey, Marie, thanks for chiming in. I appreciate it. Yeah, I need a pro charger for the Wi-Fi. Yeah, I need a pro charger for my router, no doubt. Yeah, it is a slow time of year, and I'm going to kind of get into that a little bit. I had a couple people hit me up on Instagram. You know what's going on. It's been a while since I've done a video. There's a couple reasons for that. Oh, Hard Rock, I missed you. Golly, I'm missing people. Randy, what's up, buddy? Thanks for chiming in. Yeah, that's why I don't rely on my wireless. So I just go ahead and run a 75-foot cord over to my router just to make sure we don't have those slowdown issues that I used to have. Let's get into it. Everybody's asking about Thanksgiving. I had a great Thanksgiving. Though I've been having problems with my knee, and we'll talk about that here in a second. And then that'll get into why I haven't been doing any videos or anything with Shake and Bake. But yeah, I had a great Thanksgiving. Just hung out, the hot girlfriend and myself just kind of hung out, had some turkey stuffing, mashed potatoes, gravy, stuffing, you know, the usual. We're not big on cranberry sauce. So, and pumpkin pie. I did forget about the pumpkin pie. So we had a pretty good Thanksgiving for the most part. Now why I haven't really posted anything in a while because to be honest, I haven't really been able to do anything. So, I know some of y'all know I've been diagnosed with gout, and I would not wish gout on my worst enemy. I would not worst. It is horrible. Really, really horrible disease. And oh gosh, right after the last rental, it was probably a day or two after that rental, my left knee just kind of blew up, exploded like a softball. And so I thought it was gout. I went through some medicine because I thought it was gout. Went through that for about a week. And then just chilled for a couple days. Went to one emergency room. They drained my knee, pulled 32, 33 cc's out of it. That was awful. That's another thing awful. I wouldn't wish anyone else have to get their knee drained, especially when they got to fish around a little bit to get it all out of there. That was extremely, extremely painful. Along with the gout on top of that it's just all extremely painful. So that was that visit to the ER. Then it was okay for a little bit, and then it blew back up again. So then I went to the Veteran Affairs emergency room in Baltimore. They tried to drain it, only got a couple cc's, didn't get very much out of it at all. and she was searching too. And it was like, when they go searching, it's painful. If they just go in and take it out, it's not too bad. But if they got to go in and search around to find it, it's terrible. It really is. So finally, I got a couple back-to-back appointments with the orthopedics at the VA. The first appointment, they did a ultrasound on my knee, and it looked like there could have been a possible tear of my quadricep tendon going into my knee, because I couldn't extend it, I couldn't bend it, I couldn't do anything. I couldn't, you know how they do those tests, push against my hand thing. I couldn't do any of that without being in like 1000 pain level. So we thought it was that. I got an MRI. So that was, what is today? Thursday? Wednesday. So Monday I saw him. Tuesday I got the MRI. Today I saw the orthopedic surgeon. And good news is it's not torn. So that's the good news. So I don't have to worry about surgery for now. But then it's like, okay, what is it? So we do believe, even though they didn't find any crystals in the fluid that they did get drawn, and they'll check the fluid they took today too. But the fluid from the emergency room in Annapolis, the first emergency room visit, there were no crystals in there. So I didn't think it was gout because there wasn't any crystals in there. But lo and behold, sometimes those gout crystals are so small they can't find them in the fluids, and lo and behold, it winds up probably being gout. So that's what we thought. That's what we're thinking now. It was another gout attack. So he pulled out about 10 cc's. That guy was super good. He was awesome. It was a little painful, but not nearly as bad as the other two folks trying to get it out of my knee. So he pulled out about 10 cc's and then gave me a shot of lidocaine with steroids on top of that. So the lidocaine is this kind of a pain reliever, a mild pain reliever at that. But it did give me the ability to show him that I can bend my knee and straighten my knee. So just verifying that the quadricep is fine and there's nothing wrong with it. So now we're hoping between the lidocaine and the steroids, he said it could take a couple days for it to kick in, that will solve the problem. So I don't know if y'all remember, back in August, I had the same problem with my right knee. Exact same issue, exact same symptoms, everything. And that shot of steroids cleared it up in a day or two. So hopefully that's what happens with the left knee. All right, enough medical crap. Let's get into some car stuff. Let's see. Turkey Day, Pro Charge on the Wi-Fi. All right, just kidding. Router needs a booster pump. Yeah. Are we doing a track rental anytime soon? Well, they are doing one on the 10th, but unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to make that because I just want to rest this knee for as long as possible, not have it bent. And really, if this is cut short, it's not a bad thing for me. But I am just going to rest my knee as much as possible, limit my walks with Bean to just small, short walks so he can go outside and walk around, and, try to do as little as possible for at least a few days. So yeah, there was going to be, I was going to go to a track rental, but unfortunately not going to be able to make it. So, Brandon, how's your son? Did you get to see him during Thanksgiving? No, we didn't get to see him during Thanksgiving. He's doing great. He's in Pensacola, Florida as an instructor for the Navy, for the cryptologic technician radio rating. He's a CTR. So yeah, he's down there as an instructor, doing great, loving life down there in Florida, as long as he avoids the hurricanes. But yeah, he's loving it down there. But we are going to see him during Christmas. So for Christmas time, we go down to Helen, Georgia, which is a German themed town, which my wife and I, when I was in the Army, we loved Germany. Oh, we loved Germany. Germany was awesome. So we go to this place, Helen, Georgia, in Georgia, and us, her sister, both her sisters, their kids are coming, and Seth is coming in a while. So yeah, we'll get to see him during Christmas. It'll be fun. Ken, no more shrimp. No more shrimp, no more red meats. But what's amazing, getting back to my condition again, what's amazing though, I am on allopurinol for gout, and my uric acid numbers are super low. They're like high 4s, low 5s, and they want it less than 6. But the real range goes to like 8, I think. But for gout, they like you to have less than 6. So I'm under that. So I don't know what's really causing these gout flare-ups. Because I do limit my red meat, do limit shellfish, and there's other fish that also contribute to gout. So trying to stay away from all of those, and really high fructose corn syrup and sugar, all the same stuff. They also are not gout friendly. Sugar is not gout friendly. So I try to stay away from that, drinking a lot more water. But still, I don't know why these attacks are still coming on. But yeah, Eric, sorry to hear, bro. Is there anything you can do for gout? Yeah, there's really, other than allopurinol and change your diet, there's just not much you can do. Yeah, Chris, definitely painful. Definitely. Oh, Eric, yeah. So if you ever had your knee drained, and they went in digging, you know what I'm talking about. It's tough. Yes, it does suck getting older. No doubt about it. Eric saying facts. Lone Ranger, I see why everyone at the track rides in golf carts and e-scooters. Yeah, well, that's why I bought my scooter, so I don't have to walk around and run around and all that business. And some of those scooters you can get pretty cheap. I mean, mine only goes like 15 miles an hour, but nobody has ever said this, but how fast do you need to go on a scooter, right? I mean, when you're on that scooter, 15 mile an hour is pretty fast. But yeah, that's why I bought a scooter. Oh yeah, for sure. 100% Hard Rock. I am super glad I have an automatic car now. Matter of fact, I took Shake and Bake to the hospital today. I probably could have made a video out of that, but it's just with the pain and hobbling, and I just don't think about making videos all the time. But yeah, I drove Shake and Bake to the hospital. I actually changed the front skinnies to the street tires, and eventually I'll get to the rear tires and put the street tires back on the rear, and she'll be almost ready to go for the winter. Chris, not going up much with mine, getting fuel system upgraded after Christmas, then finding a decent one-piece DSS drive shaft and pray it holds up. Chris, look into, oh yeah, you said you already bought one from East Coast Drive Shaft. So I have a DSS and I haven't had a problem with mine. I know a lot of people say they get a lot of vibrations with the DSS. I mean, I probably do have a little vibration, but the car is so loud, and with the dumps, I probably don't even notice it. But yeah, I just, DSS has been great for me. Eric, probably resting all month probably won't be a bad thing. Get some rest and enjoy the holidays. That's the plan. I mean, yeah, I got to drive to Georgia. And then actually we're driving to Georgia, having Christmas with that part of the family. Then we're going up into Gatlinburg to stay for maybe a couple of days. And then we're going into Tennessee to see her mom and dad actually for Christmas. And then we're coming back home. Eric, I've been to Helen, Georgia. It's so beautiful down there with the river running through town. Yeah, it is. It's a super, and there's a lot of things to do there too. A lot of German restaurants. Like I said, it's a German themed town, so there's a lot of German restaurants, a lot of German type, small shops and mom and pop's places and stuff like that. It's if you haven't been to Helen, Georgia, and you've been to Germany and you like Germany, I would definitely tell you to go to Helen, Georgia. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Randy, just got good news. My Maggie is getting shipped beginning of the next week. Nice. That's awesome. That's awesome. I was hoping for a Thanksgiving project. Guess it'll be a Christmas project. There you go, man. Hey, that's awesome. That is good news, man. Once you get that boost, you're gonna love it. I promise you. Chris, the East Coast one was fine until it wasn't. That's the case with everything that breaks, right? Everything that breaks is fine until it doesn't. Oh, excuse me. Brandon, no such thing as too much horsepower for a scooter. You just don't have enough traction. Don Shelby. That's pretty good. Hard Rock, I took your Mac advice with my oil done. I put in 7 quarts of Pennzoil Mopar filter, and I got my tires rotated today. Nice. Yeah, I actually put in about, if you don't pre-fill the filter, I put in about 7.5 quarts. But I think you should be good with 7 quarts. And you, like I said, I ran my car at least 100,000 miles on Pennzoil because that's what they use at the dealership I go to. And I never y'all know Shake and Bake when the 5.7 was in there, that stock 5.7, I never had an issue, from oil or anything like that. So yeah, Pennzoil, Amsoil, Royal Purple, there's a lot of good oils out there. Eric, Pennzoil is a good oil. Yeah, can't go wrong with Pennzoil. Brandon, we have a small place similar to Germany and Washington, the city of Leavenworth, Washington. I want to say we went there when I was stationed in I know it's a joint base now. I was in the Army. It wasn't McCord Air Force Base. Name is escaping me now, but can't remember. I think we may have been to Leavenworth, but I know that's another good German town. 0W40, yes sir. That's what I run. 0W40. Brandon, Amsoil or Penn's Ultra Platinum Synthetic. Yeah. Triple Z, what's up, buddy? What was your best horsepower and quarter mile on the stock 5.7 bottom end? I must have missed it. The fastest on the stock bottom end was a 9.9, I believe. And the horsepower was, I think we got in the 9s, didn't we? I think it was 900 and something. Fort Lewis, yes. I'm switching now out. Fort Lewis. Yes, I was stationed there when I was a Patriot Missile crew member in the Army. But I'm pretty sure it was a 9.9, and we were, if we weren't in the 900s, we were pretty close. So the stock bottom end of a 5.7 can handle a lot more than people give it credit for. A lot of shops are ultra conservative when it comes to the 5.7. And they're just protecting themselves, to be honest. If I had a shop, I would never tell anyone to take a stock bottom end 5.7 and try and push 900 horsepower through it. I wouldn't suggest it. I would say you can do it, but realize you are taking a chance. And, you know, I would have some kind of affidavit for you to sign to say, yeah, I understand this is dangerous and can blow my engine up, but I want 900 horsepower out of my 5.7. But I would not recommend everybody do that, because every engine is different. They're all tuned different, and they come out of the factory different. So I just say be careful. And remember, now I built up to that horsepower. I didn't go from 340 to the wheels to 900 to the wheels. I went from 340 to up into the 400s, and then up into the 600s, and then up into the 700s, and then I think we went from 7 to 9. We may have skipped the 8s, but so keep that in mind as well. So now going straight from stock to 900 is probably another thing that would be absolutely dangerous. I think what saved my stock bottom end is, and we never gapped the rings. I promise you, we never cracked. The only thing we cracked the engine open to do was a cam, and I never gapped those rings. But as the car aged and went through those power progressions, my feeling, I don't have no proof because we never tore it apart before I traded it in for the 6.4, but those rings kind of gapped themselves. Or mine just had a bigger gap from the factory. That could be also true. You just kind of don't know. So I would just say be careful. And yeah, but it's possible. It's not impossible. Frostbite Ram, he was getting close to the 900, pretty close to the 900s, because he was running low 10s on his. So Chris, even my pre-Eagle, we ran over 600 on stock bottom end. Yep. Brandon, the 5.7's a stud. It really is. It really is. People, again, people don't give credit to the 5.7 that it's due. It's a stout engine and can take a beating. I mean, I had, golly, 130,000 miles before I swapped that engine out. And you know, the first year and a half probably wasn't too bad, but after that first year and a half, I started drag racing, and I wasn't just doing one test and tune a week. I was going 2, maybe 3 test and tunes a week. If I could hit one Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I was hitting it 3 times a week, just beating on the car every freaking weekend, for 130,000 miles. Eric's saying he ran a 9.8. Yeah, but so he's close to that 900 horsepower too before he blew his up. So he blew his up. He actually blew his up. So there you go. 5.7s are factory freaks. They are. And the BGE blocks. All right. I'm not down on any of the other, you know, bigger engines, the 6.2s and the 6.4s. But it's just, you know, a lot of people don't give the 5.7 its due, but the 6.4 BGE block, man, that's putting down some power now. We're really putting down some power. And if we slow down on the chat, I'll go over where I think we're going with shake and bake. And you know, my plans always change, but where I think we're going now for next year. Brandon, see so many people swap their 5.7s for 6.4s when they just could have did a stroker kit. Most people swap to the 6.4 and do nothing with it afterwards. Yeah, right. Yeah. I mean, yeah, especially if you're not gonna if you're gonna get a 6.4 and not do anything with it. Yeah, you lose a little bit with the stroker kit, but hey, yeah, is what it is. The Apache heads are likely where it's at versus the Eagle, 100%. Yeah, the Eagle. Don't get me wrong, the Eagle heads are great. So mine were. I did have mine ported by through HHP and BES. They were ported, but Eagle heads are great too. But Apaches are definitely where it's at, 100%. I don't see as many people doing 6.2. It seems they jump straight from the 5.7 to the 6.4. Yeah, that's true. More flow for more cubes, yes sir. Chris, from my 5.7 stock stroke, just higher RPMs and lots of boost. That's the only kind of replacement for displacement is more boost. Brandon, I can understand the 6.4 swap if it's the base displacement to bigger cubic inch build. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. All right, so future shake and bake next year. Really, and I've said this, really, I probably told you all this a couple times. You guys can probably just go take a break and get a drink of water if you heard me say this before. But really, what I would like to do is, being that we didn't get the record this year, possibly taking a few early testing tunes to go for the record, see what we can do, and then really I want to dial the car back, go from the 3.4 back to a 3.6. Well, it's actually a 3.625 pulley. Slow the car down, take some pressure off the engine. Not that it's still going to get a lot of pressure. It's still going to take a beating with a 3.6 pulley, but slow it down a little bit. Get in that high 8, low 9 range consistently, and be able to run like a 9.0 class or possibly a 9.5 class, depending on how slow that 3.6 pulley brings us down. Mac and I seem to believe it's only going to bring us down to about a 9. So we'll see what happens. And I want to do more competitive race. So I want to do Rocky Mountain Race Week again. So now it's a mega week. So they're doing Rocky Mountain Race Week and Race Week together. So instead of roughly 300 cars, there's going to be about 600 cars. Not sure how they're actually going to make that happen. That's a lot more vehicles, not only at the tracks, but on the road, on the routes that they build. So we'll see. It's going to be fun either way. It's going to be a grind either way. But it seems like they got time slots for Rocky Mountain Race Week and then time slots for Race Week. So it'll be interesting to see. But I tell you, again, you heard me say this 1,000 times about Rocky Mountain Race Week. It was an awesome experience. It was great scenic drives, especially when we were on Route 66. Always something cool to see, to drive by, stop, take some pictures, all of that kind of stuff. Even if it's, not one of your stops, there are plenty of stops to take some pictures and things like that. It was a really good time. Great people. It was really awesome. Now it is hard to get into, so when it opens up, you got to be ready. You got to be ready. All right, let's get back to the chat a little bit. Now, remember the 6.4 was available for 3K versus bore stroke build on a 345. That is, Tim, that's true. That is true. That long balk was I couldn't believe how cheap that was. And I know they've gone up since then. So if you're looking for one now, it's probably more expensive. Machining cost plus parts, you could spend more on a 5.7 easily to get to 392. That's a good point. It's a fair point. Brandon, I wish sometimes I went with a 396 stroker, but I guess the next project will be a dart motor. Them bad boys can hold so much power over the factory castings. That is true. Those dart blocks are really, well, what usually comes with the words really, really nice is they're really, really expensive. So, yeah, those dart blocks are pretty cool, and they have a much thicker sidewall. So even if, you wanted the 426, there's enough sidewall in there, which may fix the rod angle problem, and probably would be better for boost. So yeah, those dart blocks are something else. Hard rock, I run high 11s to 12s with street tires on my 392, low 11s with my drag pack on it, and a seat delete, no mods, staying out of that rabbit hole. Hey buddy, I don't blame you. I really don't. There's been many a time when, I'm sitting around twiddling my thumbs because we're waiting on parts, or I'm waiting on to get in with Mac, or just what have you, that you don't have to deal with when you just stay NA at a 392. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. And low 11s with a drag pack, that's a fast car. Chris says, you say that now. Yeah. Wait till you drive a boosted car, then you're like, I want boost. But there are a lot of problems that come with boost. Now, knock on wood, I've avoided a whole lot of boost problems that a lot of other people have been having. But yeah. Eric, race week sounds like a mess next year. 600 cars. Yeah. No, I'm telling you, the way they ran it last year, arguably it's just 300 cars, but the way they were snappy. They pushed cars through the track, and you got your rounds if you wanted them. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it goes with that many more people at the same time. It's not at the same, you won't be at the track at the same time, but you're probably going to be on the route at the same time. I believe they're all doing the same route. Maybe they have two different routes, one for race week, one for Rocky Mountain. I don't know. We'll have to see what that looks like. Tim, I don't really want to run much more power in first and second, but 400 horsepower isn't enough in third and fourth. Yeah. Brandon, you want a V10 bare blocks, Don? Seen Viper motor listed on eBay for $2,800. Ooh. That's pretty cheap. That's pretty cheap for a V10. That's interesting. Chris, my builder talked me out of going stroker with the PD blower. Just 20 over bore. Oh yeah, that's what I did with the stock 5.7. Is I went 20 over, and really it was right around COVID time, so we did it 20 over to give us a larger selection of pistons and rods pistons to choose from. Yeah, Eric's going back laughing at Tim. Hard rock, it's my grocery getter and main transportation, not a weekend toy, but there's always that curiosity. What if I did this or that? Yeah. If it is your main transportation and your grocery getter, I would stay at a 100%. Though I do go get groceries and shake and bake. It's on my Instagram. Pushing a little cart right up to her. But yeah. Oh, the other thing with shake and bake, the other thing we're looking to do is I'm looking to find something that's either brings the throttle body back and gets the charge pipe down a little lower so I can bring the shaker back. That's another thing I would like to do. So Pro Charger's coming out with one that looks like will fit. That I can. Well, the shaker's going to have to go on top of the hood, no matter what. That's a given. Because that bracket doesn't fit around anything except the Magnuson. Magnuson has a kit for the shaker. But yeah, I would like to get the shaker hood back, put the shaker on top, and have it more sleeper-ish. Eric, who holds the current record? I'm not sure. Max said it was 363 or 863. I'm not really sure. I'm not really big into the record stuff. He just said he wanted to beat the record, and I guess he did the research to figure it out. You're halfway there, Hart. Yep. Once you start thinking about it, you're halfway there. Brandon, yeah, dart blocks will run you over 5K. Yeah, they're expensive. Tim, dart block plus T-Tech head build. When? I know, right? I would definitely need a sponsor for that. You're looking at 5K plus for the block and another 5 or 6K for the heads. I think they are now. I may have overshot that a little, but Brandon says when I pay off my credit cards. How much is the 15-inch rear conversion? So you got to get the brakes. You got to get at least the front spindles. I'm not sure about the rear ones yet. We hadn't really checked into that. So 15-inch, and then you got to get the wheels. So 15-inch conversion is not cheap. I mean, the brakes were $3. I'm getting the spindles from a buddy of mine cheap for $4, at least the front ones. And then, your labor cost and all that goes into it. So, and then we got to get a 15-inch tire. So that's another $1,000 for a set of wheels, roughly. But Tim's laughing at Brandon. Pay off the credit cards. Hard Rocks, you've done great, Don. Love watching your journey with Shake and Bake, bro. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I really do. I know I don't put a lot into my videos. I don't put a lot into the editing. I just kind of throw it together, but it seems to work. A lot of people like it. Some people ding me here and there for it, but it is what it is. Yeah, but I appreciate the support, man. I really do. That's awesome. I really do. And I know all of you guys have been along for the ride and love watching the videos, and I really do appreciate the support. And y'all are kind of why I keep going. Really. Because at this point, I think I've done, I have done way more than I ever thought I was going to wind up doing. Even if you would have talked to me a year ago and said, "Hey, Don, are you going to be running 8s?" I would have laughed. I would have chuckled at you like, I ain't never going to run 8s. So you never know what I'm going to do, but it's all about you guys supporting me and keep me going down the modification trail. So maybe next year, 100 shot. Nitrous is still on the table. And the only thing you get into the kind of bigger shots, you go through nitrous pretty quick. You go through it pretty quick. So maybe a 50 shot to get off the line, maybe a 75 shot. I don't know if I want to go over 100 or more, though I could. There's no reason why I couldn't, but maybe just a little oomph to get off the line, and we'll see. We'll talk to Mac. It's hooked up, so why not use it? So we may use it in the future. Brandon, once the 5.7 twin turbo car is done, I'll ride it on it for 2 to 3 years, and then look into going that Dart and T-Tech rabbit hole. Just the block and heads alone run me over 10K. Yeah, they're expensive. Hard Rock, I had a V10 in my Super Duty truck. All right. Not sure it's the same V10 that's in the Viper. Yeah, you're talking 20K engine easily to go full modern big boy stuff. Yeah, easy 20K, no doubt. Those old 90s V10 Rams, like a GST. All right. Tim, you're a hoot, buddy. That's funny. Avoid racing the daily if you want to keep the daily. That's great advice, Chris. That's awesome advice right there. Hard Rock, probably not, Eric. It was a Triton. Yeah. Tim, with the offset crankshaft and a crank-driven Pro Charger. There's another 10 grand plus. I don't know if my Super Duty was a beast. Full of house, yeah. They were a beast, that's for sure. Keep it organic. Your footage is great. Thanks, Hard Rock. I appreciate it. And that's really been my whole mantra with this thing. You know, people are like, you know, you should hire someone to put your videos together, and you know, you'll get more views and this and that. And like, if I'm taking my profits to pay someone to make a video when I'm not making enough off a video to pay for the guy to put it together, it doesn't make sense. But yeah, I just like the rawness of how I do it. And some people like it, some people don't. Shake Make is or should be the literal standard for built Mopar. So many clout chasers versus Don being the real one the entire time. Yeah, I mean, you see a lot of clout chasers. You see a lot of horsepower claims, but a lot of those horsepower claims, you don't see any time slip to back it up. We've talked about this before. You know, these record chasers and horsepower chasers and so on and so forth. And then there's, all right, is it 2000 crank or is it 2000 to the rear? You know, it's just splitting hairs in my book. And I'm not chasing clout. I'm not chasing times. I'm just going out having fun. Whatever happened to just going out and having fun, having a good time, having a blast, sitting down with the guys, talking cars, messing around in the pits, you know, go for a run, come back, let it cool down, and just go back and have fun. Tim, no, I don't want to post time BS. Yeah, exactly. And the reason why is because they can't back up their horsepower claims. That's why. Because physics doesn't lie. The math formula, you can't lie on a math formula. You know, you'd have to guess the weight of, you know, the car or the Trackhawk or whatever they're running, but you can get pretty close. You know, you can see a lot of people out there have put, you know, what their stuff weighs, and you can kind of compare a little bit and just stuff their numbers in a formula. And they're like, dude, you're not making 2000 horsepower. I mean, you take my times now, stick them in one of them calculators, and I think it's like 1350, and that's at the crank. So those math formulas are at the crank. So keep that in mind. So I think mine's like 1350 to the crank, almost 1200 to the wheels. Yeah. So Don, I think the T-Techs are going for around 37 plus another 600 for Inconno valves. Gotcha. So approaching 5K with tax and shipping for sure. Yeah, I mean, that's just 10,000 in heads and block. You know, you can figure another 4,000 or 5,000 in pistons and rods, another 2,000 or so in a crank. Yeah, that's adding up fast. It's adding up fast. Integrity is important. Yeah, absolutely. And I do try and be as transparent as possible. There are I say this all the time too. There are a lot of little things I don't video just because, and a lot of times they're at the track. So like my last video, when the coupler popped off on the second run, I think it was, the coupler popped off. I went and fixed it, and I'm like, man, I should have videotaped that. So then I go back and grab the camera, like, this was popped a minute ago, but I just fixed it. But I do try and keep it as real as possible, and as transparent as possible. So if if you want to go down this road, you kind of got some idea of some of the things that can happen. So that's really what it's all about. And really, it was my hot girlfriend was like, "You're going racing, you might as well videotape it. You're making modifications, just videotape it." And RT Life was really pushing me hard too, and Incredible Hemi pushed me hard too. It was like, Don, you should be making videos, man. You're doing crazy stuff. Anyway, so that's kind of how I got into it. Eric, all the shop stuff is super cool. Those are actually my favorite videos. You do Mac or Starks, all of them. Yeah. It's a lot of fun. It's hanging out, just doing stuff. Brandon, yep, essentially the Tim factor and sales tax and shipping. Yep. Yeah, track videos are just as cool too. Yeah, everybody likes their little things. Some like the the modifications, some like the track, some like them both. But it's cool. It's cool. Chris, never planned on pushing the 5.7 as far as I've done. I believe we have the quickest north of the states. That's awesome, Chris. That's awesome. Yeah, when I bought my car, I never thought I'd be doing what I'm doing now. Not in a million years would I have thought I'd be where I'm at today. But hey, it all worked out for the best. Tim, yeah, shop stuff, some of the best, like hanging out with the boys. I try and get more of that. I used to hardly do anything at the shop. But, I try my best to get us just hanging out, talking smack, blaming everything on Stark. And then when I'm at Stark, so we blame everything on Mac. It's just fun. We're again, I've just been super lucky that I've been surrounded by a lot of supportive people. A lot of people I call friends, and I hope they would call me a friend as well. Just that, and not only in the physical part, like the Starks and Mac and Dave and Ant and all the people that I physically have a relationship with, but all of you guys that I have a virtual relationship with. It's just great to see the support and not so much the naysayers out there. I've been super fortunate. You look in a lot of my videos, there's almost no negative comments. And if they are a negative comment, it's in a constructive criticism way, not just blah blah blah, just the typical troll, right? So I've been pretty lucky not having a whole lot of trolls. So again, that's a shout out to you guys. I appreciate the support, really do. That was great. Outright. Don't forget the Manton rocker arms assembly, Don, for them heads. Can't put a price on stability. Yeah, I know. Yeah, the Dart T-Tech build is getting more and more expensive by the second. It is definitely time for V-bands. Yeah, I agree. I even said that in the video. It's like I still want to change the intake part of the car, so I don't want to necessarily V-band it yet. I want to see if I can find something that's going to push everything down a little bit, maybe not so high as the high ram, and give me room to put the shaker back. If I find that set up, then we will V-band everything, and it'll be straight hard pipe from the Pro Charger to the throttle body, 100%. Yeah, the Mantos is almost $3,000 for the valve train. Choo choo, cha-ching, cha-ching. Yep, you can either spend double that on their high or low ratio rockers for sure. Fastest Kanukistan charger. All right, man. Trademark it. One bad. Awesome. That's awesome. Now if I can only stop breaking stuff. Yeah. That's the only thing. You get this horsepower, you're gonna break stuff. It's inevitable. The weak spot will show itself. Yeah, that's the rule. That's the rule of racing. You know what? Before I put this sweatshirt on, because it's really cold here in Maryland now. I say really cold, but it's getting into the 20s and excuse me, it's getting into the 20s at night. And yeah, I almost put on race, break, fix, repeat shirt. I almost threw that on. But I'm like, you know what? I'm going to put this hoodie on because it's a little chilly. Chrissy should be quicker. I think you'll get her to go quicker, Chris. I think you really will. Brandon, friends, cue the theme song. I should have had that ready. That would have been funny. All right, Eric's laughing back at Tim. The V-band kill amps are sweet, absolutely 100%, and you never have to worry about something popping off. So, and really where it's popping off is on the Pro Charger side, which is kind of strange. So maybe I'm thinking maybe the blow off valve isn't working correctly or blowing off fast enough. I may have to get a bigger blow off valve. Chris surprised me. Eric was never a plan. Yeah. And Plum, it's pre-Eagle. Yipper. Yeah, the shaker setup should be the priority. It is. I mean, I already got the brakes, so we're trying to figure out the brakes to get the brakes on there, and then we'll see if I dial it back. Maybe I don't need the 15-inch conversion if I dial it back, to like a 9.0 car, but we'll see. We'll see. Maybe I'll see how that goes before I go 15-inch, and then do a 15-inch conversion. But yeah, the shaker setup is my next priority once I get the brakes fixed. Because I do need better brakes. Though, again, I drive my car. I know my car. I know my brakes capabilities. So I drive my car within knowing what my brakes capabilities are. But you always got those crazy people out there that don't understand and cut you off and things like that. So I do want better brakes. I got them. We just got to get the rest of the stuff to get them installed. And then I really do want to get the shaker back. The clamps aren't too expensive. I think like $100, $150, something like that. Depending on what you go with. I'm sure you can get up more expensive ones, but they're not super expensive. Yeah, just the work to bend the tubes. Yeah, yep, and then making sure they all line up is a bit painful, but once you get it done, it's done. You don't have to worry about. Do you have the race blow off valve? I do. I do have the race blow off valve, and it's the open one. So it's not the closed one. It's the one that's open to the atmosphere. Because with a Pro Charger, you got to have that psh sound. If you don't have the psh sound. You don't have a Pro Charger. And it is a loud, let me tell you, it's loud. But yeah, I have Big Red, the race blow-off valve. The rotor you have now are power stop. That's on its now. No, I have R1 Concepts drilled and slotted rotors with their brake pads. And they've been great. They've been awesome. They've been on there. Oh my gosh. I can't remember when I bought them last. It's been a long time. But I may buy some cheap pads to get me through till we get the new brakes on. Yeah, the rotors are R1 Concepts. The brake pads are also R1 Concepts. And like I said, they've been great. Though when we did look at them, they are starting to crack. So they're getting old. But I'm just going to use them through the winter, as long as nothing happens to them. Use them through the winter, and then get the new brakes on for the new season, and off we go. Hard Rock. Well, folks, heading out. Great show as always, Don. Time flies. Happy holidays. You too, Hard Rock. Thanks for chiming in, buddy. I appreciate it. Isn't R1 the same as Power Stop? No, they're two different companies. At least they were when I bought mine. They may be a combined company now. I'm not sure, but I mean, I have to look into it. Bleed the entire system when we do the brakes. Absolutely. When we put the TBM brakes on, we are going to flush the system and make sure it's clean. Make sure everything's good, and then we're going to put the TBM brakes on. And I'm going to get their brake fluid they suggest to run too. Well, they're better than stock, I'm sure. Yeah, they are. They are. But, you know, those 5.7 brakes aren't designed for a 1,200 horsepower, 1,200 rear wheel horsepower car. So, yeah, it's time to upgrade them. All right. Peace out, buddy. Change the fluid every 3 to 4 years. Yeah, it's way past due. Way past 3 to 4 years. But, all right, we're coming up right on 10 o'clock. It's 9:59. All right, you guys kept me going for an hour. I appreciate it. And again, I can't express my gratitude for your support and the way you support, and just, you know, just the way we chat, the way we just talk through things. And yeah, we have differing opinions, and you know, everybody seems to accept that, and you know, we just move on. And you know, there's different manufacturers, and people like different, you know, some people like A, some people like B, and yeah, and you guys don't get butt hurt because I like A and you like B. So yeah, it's awesome. You guys are great, and I can't thank you enough. But that is going to do it for this one. I am pretty sure we'll have one next Wednesday, but after next week, may not have one till after the holidays, after Christmas, but we'll see how things go. But y'all have a great night. Y'all be safe. And if I don't talk to you before the holidays, you guys have an awesome holidays, and we'll see you on the flip side. Adios.